I'm Yessie,
And I'm
this is
Gage.
Gage. All right, let's get this pump in.
Let's go.
Okay, so you know what I want to talk about today?
What do you want to talk about, Yessie?
I want to talk about love.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
So Gage.
Yesita.
Wow. Do you speak other languages?
You know what? I have tried to learn Spanish, but not in depth. So, un poco.
Whoa.
Hablo un poco de español.
Okay. A little.
Yes.
What, can you roll your R?
No, I can definitely not roll my R's.
All right. So he's looking for somebody Hispanic. Just kidding.
Yes, that's what that means.
Something that you just find attractive.
Just, I think a great sense of humor. Honestly, first and foremost, I need someone that's willing to not be too sensitive to jokes, and also being able to be teased and tease me without getting their feelings hurt. Not that I'm like intentionally but little pokes and fun, that's
little
fun.
Pokey-wokey,
Yeah,
never
little
hurt
pokey-wokey.
nobody.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I think that I would be very sad if you ended up with somebody who's not funny.
Just like a dud.
Dude,
like a potato.
I'd be like,
that
goes Gageito.
That would suck.
That would suck. Somebody who's funny is huge.
Yeah.
Personally, I like somebody whose words match their actions. That is a very attractive attribute to me. But if they're not funny too, I want it. I want it.
Yeah. For sure. No, aligning with what you do and what you say is obviously super attractive to me as well, because how can you trust someone if they're saying and then doing the complete opposite? Yeah. Or the wishy-washiness of people today.
Like
right?
the pull and push.
Yeah, the push and pull, it's just, it's a lot. It can be fun, and it's obviously, psychologically, it, entices you to, be captivated by it, roller coaster rides, but, I mean...
I hate roller coasters.
Yeah.
I'm so scared. I am.
Okay.
I am. But I've gone skydiving and stuff like that.
Oh, right. Well, you've surpassed roller coaster then. Yeah. I mean, adrenaline rush and everything. But yeah, having that dopamine kick of having the highs and lows. If you can do that within a relationship, in a controlled and both of you guys understand where you stand, and then you just kind of you tease each other and going the ups and downs, for sure, that's fun. But yeah, not knowing where you stand with someone it sucks.
Yeah, I like a little tease, but don't be for real. Dude, I'm just a girl. You're just a guy.
I'm just a guy.
No, that doesn't work actually. I'm just kidding.
Wow. I see. Very reciprocal. It doesn't. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work with guys
at all.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I think that everybody deserves a break and some compassion and empathy for sure. But I'm just a girl to the gals.
Okay. I got you. Yep. Ladies, that's yours.
Wow. A gentleman and a Scot.
Oh, gosh.
Michael Scott. I love The Office. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Do you really?
I've watched it numerous times.
Oh my
all
gosh.
the way through.
Dude, me too. Okay, who's your favorite character?
Oh, Michael for sure.
Oh my gosh, me too.
He made the show. When he left, it
broke my heart.
For sure.
Yeah. I feel like I reference a lot of The Office. So when I'm romantically involved with someone, I want them to understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's
fun. The little inside jokes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't think I could date someone long term if they don't support me in little things like that. For example, we have a lot of insiders with these schemes, right?
Right.
Because we lived it. And if I was with someone that was just completely disregarding my participation in these games after we've established a relationship, I'd kind of be like, why? You know, what's going on with that? Because I want to support my partner in everything and anything that they do.
Right.
And
anything and everything.
Well, I'm hoping that the person that I choose is going to be positive.
Right.
But
you're
right.
Yeah,
You're right.
what they do, I mean, for sure. There's a difference between supporting healthy and fun things and not.
I know. Where did you go just now? I'm like, did you think about like a specific instance, or just something in general that you were like, oh wait?
I mean, for me personally, I love I strive to be healthy and like put myself in situations and places and with people that are thriving and have a positive like attitude and where they're going. And most of the time, that's either like in an athletic environment or like nature. I don't particularly like the whole like bar and club scene. So even though it's fun and there's a time and place for it, I just over and over again, the people that seem to hang out around those environments are not seeking wholesome. They don't have wholesome motives.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, I personally love to dance, but
I love dancing too.
Look at us.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Like,
what's your favorite type of dancing?
My favorite type of dancing? I mean, I embarrass myself in all types of dancing, fun fact. But I get really nervous when it comes to like partner dancing.
Okay.
I have to really trust the person, and I find myself overthinking and being like, am I too stiff right now, or am I too loose, or like what am I doing right now? And I freak out a little bit.
Okay.
So when we're just like in a group of people, I'm a hype woman. I love hyping.
You
people
are.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hype everyone up.
I like to see people glow, and if they're doing something positive and something that brings them happiness, I want to be there to support that. So when you're in a dancing environment, I'm like, yeah, I get it. I'm like, woo, right? And I'm over here with like my same 3 moves. But my favorite is definitely just like a group dance, any type of dance. Even if I don't know how to dance it, I'm gonna be in there, right? Like,
I could see you doing salsa.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done salsa before and stuff. Like, I make it at home.
Yeah. Salsa, spicy, very spicy.
Yeah, I do spicy.
Yeah.
Gageito. Okay.
Wow.
Okay, what is a turn off? What is something that you're like, no, I'm not gonna do it?
I would say someone that is pretentious, like stuck up, like someone who's not like laid back, someone who thinks like they're, too good for people or certain things. I really relate, and I try to be a humble person and try to kind of.
You are very humble.
I try to meet people where they're at, no matter where they're at. So I don't know.
You're so sweet.
Yeah.
Gage,
it's all a facade.
It's all a facade.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But I know it's the right thing to do, so I that's what I try to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes you come across people that understand what the right thing would do in taking somebody's feelings in consideration, and they still don't. So that's big. Being humane is huge. Because
same to you.
Yeah. Thank you.
You make everyone feel very comfortable, and like you were saying before, you hype people up. So yeah, I mean, I feel very supported and a lot more positive when you're around. So let's go.
I paid him. No, I'm just kidding. I don't.
Yeah, she did. 50 cents.
Minus taxes. Yeah, I think that for me, a turnoff would be somebody that like doesn't ask me questions. because I'm constantly like, hey, like, what makes you tick, right?
Yeah.
Like, what? Because that's essentially how I know when someone's comfortable or uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So if they're not I guess the real ick would be someone not taking me into consideration.
Yeah.
Right? I'm a very straightforward actions person. So I'm like, hey, actions need to start with communication. So without the other, I'm like, what do we have here?
Right. I really need to work on that for me personally. I need to continually. Sometimes I just blank, like especially with someone that I really feel like I'm vibing with and like I get in my head a lot, and then I'll forget or like not know what to say. So yeah, I'm always interested in, well, not always, but when I'm actually interested in someone, I'll be like I will just blank and not be able to ask them further questions. So that's something that I need to work on.
Do you live in your head a lot?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh.
I live in my head a lot. I ruminate and I overthink. Yeah, so that's something that I'm working on right now. It seems like you are someone who doesn't. You're very comfortable with speaking your mind and being like flowing with conversation. It's very easy to talk to you.
Oh, thank you. I want to make sure that I say everything I need to say, because I never want to look back at a situation and have any sort of regrets. So it's something that I push myself to do, because it's not always easy. You know, it can be very embarrassing at times, but I'd rather embarrass myself and know that I said and did everything that I needed to do, rather than think, what if?
Yep.
I feel like that would kill me.
I've never been there. Never been there.
I don't know, like, it's, when I was younger, something that my mom said to me, and she regretted it immediately. She said, never stay with anything, always speak your feelings out. So I'm very transparent. If I'm upset, I'll say it. I think that what I have more of an issue with is being vulnerable. When I feel vulnerable, that's when I found myself making like the worst decisions that I could have made in regards to setting my future self for success. Right? That's where I'm like, let me go and make the decision that I know is going to be bad, and then future me can deal with the consequences. You know?
Okay.
Yeah. That's my like bad trait for sure.
So looking for that kind of like instant gratification, like, and then kind of disregarding the consequences.
Yes.
Yes. All right.
That's why routine is so important to me. Like I love going to the gym. I love drinking at least 80 ounces of water a day, reading at least one page of a self-help book.
Okay.
And I also thrive in asking people and how they're doing. I'm like, hey, like, charge me a little bit. You know, I don't like associating myself with people that drain me. And I'm not saying that my people are always 100 or that I'm always 100, but if this is someone who has a pattern of just being positive, I'm going to be right there, especially when they're down. But if they show me the opposite of like someone who's negative, or, you know, someone that's more problem thinking instead of solution thinking, I'm like, oh, please leave me alone. I'm like, no, don't do it. I'm like, I'm going to want to help you so bad, but I know my limits now. You know, at this point of age.
I felt myself, you know, there's times where I definitely feel more negative than positive. I think I tend to be a little bit more in a, I don't know, depressed is the right term, but in terms of overthinking and being in my own head, I tend to think of what's going on in a negative sense, and I've really worked at trying to overcome that, and like you said, think of solutions and address potential solutions, which is very in terms of draining. You know, you want to be someone. You also want to be around people that have that inclination to just that positive energy. And I think a great example of that is Tim from.
Oh, I loved him. Ow,
Yeah.
ow!
Yeah.
Timmy!
What an amazing light in that game. He was crazy.
Tim's energy
Yeah.
is always up here, and
Yep.
he's like, I'm gonna give you a hug now. And I'm like, oh, give me a hug, man. I'm like, I need it.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, it's just like even after the show, you know, he's just remained the same person. You're so right about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. I like that. Huh. Who's your celebrity crush? That was like a
What a
weird
great
transition.
segue. Celebrity
Tim?
crush. That's also it is Tim, actually. Tim, I love you.
We love you, Tim.
You know, I've been asked this question before, and I think I don't know, in terms of aesthetics, I would say Emmy Rossum from The Day After Tomorrow, and also from Shameless, if you know who that is.
The main girl
The
from
main girl
Shameless?
from Shameless. I don't know, there's just something about her I find attractive.
Like physically
Yeah.
or her? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
just
was
her
like,
facial, just
okay.
the way in which, she,
Yeah.
and, I don't know, she's very, very charismatic. Like, her expressions and everything is I just find very cute.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like that. I feel like her face is very proportionate too. Like her lips are full. She has a tiny little nose. And she has those big doll eyes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can see that.
How about you?
Yeah. Oh, you asked me a
I
question.
did.
Oh,
I'm working on it.
you're succeeding.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Young Ben Affleck, 1,000%.
Young Ben Affleck. Okay.
Yeah, I just,
What about
you know, I'm 5'1",
him?
right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty tall, and a half,
Really?
5'1"
Yeah.
and a half, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, I would feel so safe in his arms.
Like cradled like a baby, or just hugged
Bro,
you know.
all the ways.
Yeah, okay, all the ways. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Like in oh my gosh, what's the movie that no.
What, Wreck-It Ralph?
No. What's the movie where he's with I forget the
Oh
other
my gosh,
guy's
Ana
name.
de Armas? Or wait.
No. Oh, she's
Oh,
another.
Pearl Harbor.
No. And Ana de Armas though is very beautiful.
Yeah, very unique.
Oh gosh, they created a movie. They wrote the movie together, and it's about he's a genius going to school, and Ben Affleck's character is trying to get him out of
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting, of course, yeah, with Robin Williams, yeah, Good Will Hunting. Did you find? Is that where you found him?
It was
attractive?
actually. I'm gonna butcher this just because I
That's
barely
all right.
speak
I
English.
butchered the reference.
Yeah, my first language is Spanish, so sometimes I feel like I start stuttering or I can't pronounce things, but I really don't. I can't pronounce all the Spanish words either, so I'm like,
Hey,
do I speak?
it's okay. Don't overthink it.
Armageddon.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
he was in that?
Yeah, he was in that.
Okay.
That and Pearl Harbor. When I was growing up, I was like, choose Ben. I'm like, oh, what? I was like, how are you gonna move on from Ben? I was like, no, we love Ben. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I can see it.
I just saw him as somebody that was very manly, but also soft.
Yeah.
You know, because I've had a hard life, man. Like, I mean, I'm sure that everybody has had a hard life in their own paths, but I don't want that to be the rest of my life. You know, I want a soft life. I want to chill, I want to laugh, and I want to have peace. Like, that is my goal. If I don't have that with my future partner, I don't want it.
Yeah. I mean, for sure, being able to work towards that, and I mean, who you select as your partner is like one of the most important things in your life.
Yeah.
You want someone that obviously has all those traits that you like, but also fundamentally is someone that is safe, that you can come to, and
Yes.
is solid and has 2 feet on the ground, and someone that you can rely on. So yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't mind if somebody goes to cloud 9 once in a while, like, hey, like, let me grab onto you, you know, I'll be your anchor, and then you can be my anchor when I
Right.
need that. But I just, if I can't depend on you, I'm not gonna respect you. And if I don't respect you, then I don't have any admiration for you, and I'm gonna fall out of love with you. So I need that from my partner.
Yeah.
And it's only something that I've realized because
Recently?
Yeah, just recently, you know, like within like the past year. I think that before I would look for that thrill, what we were speaking of earlier, right? I just thought
The roller coaster.
yeah, the roller coaster. I mean, dude, I didn't even know I got in there, but me making the same decisions over and over, even though it was with different people, led me to the same thing. Because it wasn't even them, it's me. You know, we accept everything that we bring into our lives, and I ran straight for it. It's like, yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
This is totally gonna work out, right? And I think that I would also see myself in these people, and I would say, hey, I've been through that, so we can get through it together. But
Right.
we're in different wavelengths. Like, it doesn't matter how much love I've had for someone or I have for someone. It's just, yeah.
When you're not in that healed state from that pattern that you engage in that you know isn't healthy, it's hard to kind of regulate not only yourself but that other person, unless they're willing to change as well. But that's, again, we always hope, you know, well, not always, but I've had a similar experience where I've kind of fallen into choosing the same type of people. And at the end of the day, I feel like I need to take accountability for my decisions that led me to choosing them, but also realizing that I also have a lot of work to do to be able to get out of that. So yeah, it's therapy is important.
It's so important.
Yeah, I have never had therapy, so I'm actually really going to work on doing therapy very, very soon. Yeah,
that's great.
I'm excited and also terrified.
You know, personally for me, when I first got into therapy, first I went to community college and I started taking all of these communication classes because I was so tired of being the same person and then wondering why I wasn't getting different results. So I wanted to understand where my communication was going wrong, because that's where it all starts, right? After that, it was a lot of self-help books, and then it was therapy. And when I was in therapy, I would like try to self-diagnose myself, and like, oh yeah, I'm very self-aware, like it's fine. And then I got into
Google's
another. Seriously, it's like I googled that. It's okay. No, and then I got into another relationship, and I thought, oh, I've got this. And it's always when I think, oh yeah, I've got this, even though I see the other end of that coin, even though I know my personal limitations. You like that one? Thank you. I'm like, I still dove in. I think that the correct thing for me to have done for a healed me would have been, hey, I see my limitations. I see this pattern. I'm not gonna do it. It's gonna suck because I'm curious, and if something sounds fun to me, I'm gonna want to do it so bad. But yeah, it's something that I'm holding myself accountable for, And I in no way blame the other person because I chose that, right? I said, hey, let me go have fun instead of prioritizing my own peace that I took so long to create. So, yeah.
I think having, like, for me too, personally, I've actually gone after relationships or girls that didn't necessarily have a strong like spiritual like relationship like with Jesus, and I've always thought, I can. That doesn't have to be.
I can fix that.
Yeah, not fix it, but like maybe I can bring them towards that and whatnot. And I've found it doesn't work. So I'm personally really looking for someone that has faith in God and has someone that wants to have a Christ-centered life.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, the person that I admired most in my life was my maternal grandfather, and all of the conversations we had were about religion, about politics, and about love. So, to me,
not divisive topics.
Yeah, no, not at all. They were all fine. So to me, like, the embodiment of love is somebody who would have those attributes, right? I think that the person that you grow up admiring, because to me he was like my bigger than life person, and as I got older, he was still like this big person to me, right? He never got smaller. And the more real he got and the more that I got to know him and understand him as an adult, it hit me like, oh, okay, like, I know what I want. I never stopped to look for it, and I didn't think I deserved it at that point, right? Who do you admire in your life?
I mean, I admire, my gosh, I admire both my parents, just in general. Like, I might have mentioned them in Beast Games, and actually they came, and it was an incredible experience. But the more I think about it, and the more I learn about their lives and where they've been, and what they've been through, and where they are now, it's just I love them very much. No relationships are perfect, and a lot of the things that have hindered my ability to get closer and have connection is my own doing. But I mean, they've been nothing but supportive. Like, my mom is just amazing. She is literally like an angel. She is so sweet, and she's so solid in terms of like wherever we're at in a conversation, or maybe in a place that's something that's gone wrong or not our way. She's been really she's been emotionally and intellectually like a rock. So I really admire that about her. And my dad has been through a lot as well. And one thing that I learned from my dad that I didn't think was a trait that I wanted to adopt was the ability to harness and productively utilize like emotional, like anger. Because sometimes we can't help when we get angry.
Yeah.
And obviously it's a more I would think it's like a more masculine trait, but to be able to be like use it for good is super important for me, because I've been more passive in my life, and not like you're always told, oh yeah, don't get angry, or being upset is like a problem, and obviously it is if you let it hinder like moving forward. But if you can capture it and use it to do what is right and do what is good, especially against people that are have less than good intentions for you. You need to be able to protect not only yourself but the people you love. So yeah, I admire that about him because he's been able to stand up. Not only like when I was growing up, there were a lot of people that I mean I used to be his little buddy and like do all of his like errands around, and there were things like, even for example, just like going to an auto dealership, or you know, he used to manage properties and had properties, and work was done on houses or his houses, and you know, they would try to get away with certain things, and he would stand up for himself, and I really admire that about him. And yeah, I think utilizing like emotions productively, and being able to stand up for yourself is super important. And I think I did that in Beast Games quite a bit, because there were times where I definitely felt like I was wronged in certain instances. For example, being able to kind of help other people with the flag challenge in Vegas, right? There were people that were like cutting in line, getting ahead, weren't recognizing or not listening to me because they were obviously wanting to get through, and they were pernicious with their intent, if I'm using that word correctly.
I don't know that word.
Yeah,
I was like, whoa.
But they were snaky in a way.
Oh,
and
I know that word.
Yeah, being able to use my words and articulate it. You know, it didn't help really, because they were going to do what they were going to do, but at least I felt like I did everything I could to stand up for myself and stand up for my friends. And that, I think if I wouldn't have done that, I would have not been 974, I would have been over 1100 and not even have been, you know, gone through.
Wow. Yeah, I feel like you're a very manly guy, you know, like, I mean, you would hope so, right? Or maybe not, I don't know. So
I'm just a guy.
There he goes. I mean, for my definition of manly, I feel like you're somebody who is very manly. And I only laughed earlier when you said, oh, I feel that someone who uses emotions to propel themselves is a masculine attribute. But that's how I grew up. You know, I was very frustrated and angry growing up, and I used that to just push me forward. You know, I'm a first generation Mexican American because I was born in California, but it was so difficult because I felt like I was always in this middle plane. You know, in school, I was expected to have these American traditions that I didn't know. Yeah. But at home, oh gosh, I better be very Mexican traditional. So here I was, just I would go to school and I would get in trouble for being myself. And like, for example, eye contact. In American tradition, eye contact is very respectful. But when I would be home and I would make eye contact, it would be like a rival, right? Like I would be rivaling their authority, my parents' authority. Okay. So in school, you know, like a teacher would say, "You're being very disrespectful. Are you lying right now? Like, what's going on?" It was
You're
like,
being evasive.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm just trying to respect you. And then I would go home and I would make eye contact with my parents, and they're like, "Are you standing up to me right now?" And I'm like, "What is it? Yeah. What do I do?" So
culturally, that's difficult.
Yeah. So, and not just that. I mean, my first language is Spanish, and the only language that my parents knew when I was growing up was Spanish. So I was on the phone translating bills, like hospital bills, electricity bills, or anything like that. And then
you had a lot of responsibility.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Or you took on a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, and I didn't know that other kids didn't have that, right? I didn't that to me wasn't even a reality. I thought that all the kids.
That was the norm.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. That was the norm. And I mean, if I wouldn't know a word to translate it because I hadn't learned it yet, my parents would be like, "Why are you going to school?" I'm like, "I don't know." Like it's because it's my responsibility, right?
Yeah.
But it was little situations like that, and then just life happening that pushed me into a direction where I was very angry, frustrated, confused, scared. And I just remember thinking, this is not gonna beat me. I'm gonna make it forward. And I was like, I don't even know where I'm going, but I'm just gonna move forward, right? That was one thing I never wanted to stop. A couple of quotes that I like to live by is, are you a crystal or are you a diamond? Because a crystal under pressure, it cracks, right? But a diamond under pressure, that's when it comes out. So that's what I would tell myself. Are you a crystal or a diamond?
Yeah, the more pressure you feel, you have a choice, right? I think you can either choose to let those external things impact you negatively, and you can just kind of fall and crumble and let them overtake you, or you can do what you did and you learn the lessons from them, you get stronger, and you move on.
Yeah. Do you have any quotes you live by?
I would say one is, I have one, do what is meaningful, not what is expedient. And that's from Jordan Peterson. I've listened to hundreds of hours of his content, and he's had a really positive impact on my life. And I think it's true, like, you have all these things that are coming at you, especially with our experience right now. There's so many things that, that we can do and choose to do. We have opportunities that are fun. They're great,
Yeah.
and they could be positive, but at the same time, the world is the world, and we can choose to pursue, partying or, alcohol or drugs or whatever, and or people that maybe have our less than a best interest in mind. And I feel like choosing the things that will allow you to have a better future self rather than just having fun in the moment. And I think for relationships, for me, that's a big one that drives me to be able to, I guess, say no to a lot of relationships that I could potentially have that I know aren't really going to go anywhere. And in the past I've had those, but I'm at a point in my life where I know the more I don't want to say all relationships, I feel, not all, but a lot of the ones that are worth it are a little more difficult. And not, when I say difficult, I mean you have to put a lot into, you want to invest, obviously you want to receive as well, but the more you put into something, the more you invest into something, the more worthwhile it's going to be. So,
or at least you hope it would be.
Or at least you hope it would be. We have to put the trust there somewhere,
And that's the biggest thing, right? Trust. It's like, it has to be consistent.
Right.
And it's like, all right, I'm gonna just step into the abyss. Like, please don't hurt me. Like, please.
Right. Yeah. Consistency. Consistency is huge.
Yeah.
Not this.
No.
You want this. You want this. Yeah.
Not this.
No.
Not this. This is fun though.
Fun. It's fun. For sure. Yeah. Like, did I even do? I can't even.
Whoa.
No, that didn't work. But
What? What do you mean?
It worked. Just kidding.
Gage Gallagher. Okay. One of my last questions that I have for you is, what are your morals and values?
Not a
Just
deep
casual
question, yeah.
No.
Morals and values. I mean, for me, in terms of me personally, or in regards to a relationship.
I think morals and values that you live by, because if you answer that, I feel like that leads into relationships.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would say try my best to not lie. Try my best to be as transparent and direct as I can. I feel like the friends that I do have, the relationships that I truly do cherish, I want to invest in those. And I have been at points where I haven't been able to, I guess this is something that I need to work on, consistency, because I have friends that I don't talk to for a bit, you know, I just kind of, things get away from me.
Yeah.
And then I come back and then it's like nothing ever changed, and they understand and I think I understand. So, but yeah, consistency, relationships, and I guess just I value family. I value health as much as I can. This whole travel thing is going to be interesting with Patrick and I.
Your treasure hunt.
Yeah, our treasure hunt. That's going to be hard to stay consistent in all areas of my life, but it's going to be an adventure.
You know, you said something interesting there. You said, I have these friends who I don't speak with for a while, but then when we speak, it's like nothing ever happened. It's all the same.
Yeah, it's like right back.
But isn't that consistency within itself?
A little bit, for sure.
Because I'm definitely a low maintenance friend. Like, if you don't talk to me for a few months, but like I see that you're doing great, I'm like, yeah, go and do it. Those are the relationships that I love the most. Just because if I'm not seeing you doing something positive with your life, that's when I'm concerned. That's when I'm going to be reaching out to you. Because sometimes you need somebody to reach out to you, right? But I don't find anything wrong with not speaking for a bit, giving each other space, and then coming back into each other.
Yeah.
So that's interesting to me that you said that. But
who's your best friend, would you say, in your life?
Oh, who's my best friend?
Or like one of them. Someone that stands out to you in this moment.
You know, I'm somebody that has a lot of best friends, and I've always gotten like a side look about that. But I'm like, who made the rules about best friends, huh? Let me at him. Let me at him.
You don't have to have just one.
Excuse me? But I think that, you know, my cousin Diego, he's somebody that sticks out to me a lot, only because, I mean, we grew up together. We're practically the same age. He's a few months older than me.
Oh wow, you guys are super close.
Yeah, and we're pretty much the same person, except that he's not as intense as I am, right? I feel like I'm like, I bleed red, world, watch me, which is not what I showed in Beast Games.
He was in Beast Games with you, right?
Yeah. He's the one that got me to sign up for Beast Games. Like before I got into Beast Games, I was in a horrible place in my life, and I was just very depressed and very lost, and I lost trust in me, right? I thought, man, I just need something to believe in. I want time to stop, and I just want like my problems to disappear. That's where I was at. And I remember he visited me and he was like, hey, hey, little boy. And I was like, yeah, because it's kind of how we talk to each other.
Okay.
We like,
little guy.
Yeah, little guy.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can always call me little guy.
yeah, and I mean that like in a how do you say
Endearing.
it? Yeah, in an endearing way.
Yeah.
Wow, my translator. He was like, hey, you know what? Like, we're gonna do this. I was like, I don't want to do it.
So he got you into the
Yeah.
oh, no way.
Dude,
Okay.
he got me into Beascapes.
Wow.
He was like, dude, you're already depressed. You already have nothing.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah, what could go wrong? Come on.
yeah, he was like, at worst, you get turned down by this, but you'll always have the story to tell. And I was like, you're so right. Okay, I'll go ahead and I'll do it. And I mean, even just recording my audition video was very fun. I was like, I want to do something so MTV. So what do? I rollerblade into a pool and I hope that I don't drown. I'd never done that before.
Cut to the clip of her rolling into the pool.
Oh my gosh. Dude, like literally we had our other friend Izzy there with us, just ready to like jump in case I started drowning. Because those rollerblades,
Yeah,
like,
they're heavy,
right?
for sure. Oh my gosh, that would be no, it wouldn't be funny.
That would have been pretty funny.
Alright, you're right. It would have been kind of funny.
But no, like to my surprise, when I got in the water, they weren't heavy at all. I was able to swim, and that within itself, I was like, oh, what a confidence boost, right?
Yeah.
And
What a fun experience. Just in and of itself, like, getting you out of your comfort zone and doing something silly.
And that's what I love. I love silliness, getting me out of my comfort zone, because I mean, if I think that my limitation is here, and then somebody tells me, no, I think you can go higher, and I break through that, I mean, it's like, it's so rewarding. It's very addicting.
You look for someone that pushes you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Pushes me in a respectful, loving way, and who I can feel safe with. So when I was in the city with him, oh man, I was living my best life. I was like, I'm here with my best friend. I'm like, nobody knows we're related. And I'm like, ah ha 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 ha, look at me go.
Did you try to keep that?
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And we actually ended up in the same friend group. I was like,
that's cool.
are you serious? I literally introduced myself to him.
That's so funny.
And I didn't break, which I was very proud of, because I laugh a lot. Some may say too much. Haters.
It's true.
Just
Just kidding.
What?
It's not.
My op. But it just, I mean, when I went through that with him, he actually sacrificed himself in the cubes for me.
Wow.
And I remember, we were with another player who didn't want to play a game. And so I turned to him and I told him, the three of us are going home, right? And he was like, okay. And we were in agreement. And after 4 hours and 50 minutes, he tells me, hey, say your goodbye message to the camera, and then I'll say my goodbye message to the camera. We're like, and I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds great, right? Because of course they're gonna show all the clips of like 2,000 people, or no, it was like 1,000 people at that point. And I like start breaking down when I'm talking to the camera, and because I'm speaking to my family and I'm thinking about everyone I could have helped out. And then he goes up and he gives like a beautiful speech. He's a family man. He's a man of God as well. His faith is very strong. I feel like thanks to him, my faith has grown a lot, and I'm very grateful for that. He's just somebody who reminds me to be grateful every day, just by being himself. I mean, just being in that constant energy is amazing. And he's so patient. He's so patient, because like I said, I wear my emotions on my sleeve, but him, even if something is breaking him, I feel like you guys are kind of similar in that sense. Like, he lives in his head, and he's just like, it's okay. Like, he might distance himself from someone, but he'll never make them feel bad. And I'm like, you just made me feel so bad. I'm gonna cry in front of you, and then we're both gonna be uncomfortable because I can't control my emotions. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm a passionate little guy, I'm just a girl.
You are.
And that can be a lot for someone. So for somebody like him to be soft with me, it just it means a lot. Especially because I mean we've grown up together. He's seen me in every stage of my life, and he still accepts me. I'm like, sucker.
My gosh, God bless that guy.
Right. So in those last 10 minutes, he went and he handcuffs himself, and
Wow.
he just and I.
And you didn't know? Did he tell you? He just did it.
No, I thought we were prank calling like the Beast team when we were on there. Because there was like 30 minutes left or something, and I go to the phone and I'm like, fly my mother out here right now. And the poor guy on the other line is like, well, where does she live? Is she in Canada? Because it's going to take some time. I was like, figure it out. And he was like, oh, and I was like, I'm just kidding, I'm sorry. And then I hang up.
It's probably Carl.
Oh man,
Okay.
I don't know who it was. I'm Carl, I'm sorry. If that was Carl. Or Chandler, I'm sorry too. No, Chandler would have enjoyed that. Yeah. So I thought that he was going to go and prank call, and then he just cuffs himself.
Oh, wow.
And then, like I break down crying. And I was like, dude, why?
Yeah.
Why did you do it? And I was like, no. And, behind me, I hear the other player, and they knock, and they say, we got one. And I just remember thinking to myself, I was like, I'm gonna do something. But then I saw my cousin, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I am so sorry. And I broke down with him, and I was like, why did you do that? And I just remember thinking, my ego was so big, my pride was so big that I wasn't able to do this for him, although he did it for me. And after that, I felt very defeated. I feel like I went back to that like depressed self of before going into the games and stuff, because it was no more fun and games. I was like, oh, my best friend is out, my cousin, and he did something for me that I could have done for him after he got me in, after he picked me up, and I did.
What an amazing sacrificial move on his part.
Seriously,
So
like,
cool.
what a stand-up guy, right?
Yeah.
So moving forward, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be sad right now,
Right.
but
Allow yourself to feel that.
yeah, but I'm gonna play my heart out, and in any interview, and it's crazy, I literally mention him in every single interview, and they don't pass that once, and I was like, Jimmy, why? I was like, why?
That's an important part of your story.
Yeah.
Sure. What you get to say now.
I know, right? I'm like, I never expected to get as far as I did, and I think that, I did come out believing in something. I just never expected it to be myself. So that was huge for me. I thought, okay, I got exactly what I needed. I didn't get what I wanted. I didn't get your million, but but I definitely got what I needed, because, I mean, dude, look at us.
Yeah.
We're hanging out right now. It's not even Beast Games.
Yeah.
And I do consider you like a close friend of mine and a lifelong friend.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Like we were talking before about how, I mean, none of us, all the people that like we are close with, we would have never met. We would have probably, even if like in real, like we wouldn't have like been friends. And it's amazing that opportunity allowed us to connect and be able to see each other for like all of our flaws, all of our attributes, like everything. And I think that experience in and of itself heightened everything. Heightened everything and allowed us to see more easily who we are as people. And I mean, he sacrificed himself for you because he saw that same thing. He knew that you were a very strong person, and you're able to move forward and through that and gain even more confidence to be able to stop those limiting beliefs.
I didn't think I could do it,
But you did.
I was like, if someone's gonna win it, it's gonna be this little guy. And then I wasn't, and I was like, no, we just lost. I was like, there's no way.
Top 6. we made it, and then you had the balls.
The red ball.
Yeah, the red balls, and also the ability to, you had it. You knew it.
Yeah, I think that was also another thing, because when I was in front of that pattern, I was like, okay, whatever Jeff says, I'm gonna go with it.
Yeah.
But when he said, I think it was to the right, I was like, do you think or do you know? Right?
Right.
And then I thought, no, you know what? This is okay. This is my battle. I'm like, I know that Jeff is trying to help me out, but how do I want to remember this? I was like, I think it's time for me to bet on myself. And yeah, I took the wrong step for sure. Like, not the first time. And like I said, I'm very used to embarrassing myself. Never this publicly. At least that's how I felt in that moment, right? Because I don't know. I thought it was funny. But the fact that I still think it's funny. Like, I see that clip and I feel the same feelings and I'm like, oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh man, like the fact that Jimmy allowed me to do the pattern and the fact that I knew it, I felt great.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let's go. Let's get out of here.
You made your move and you were able to show everyone that you actually had it. And you were saying something to me that was interesting earlier about how you kind of see and know where you want to go and how you want to move through life, but sometimes it's hard to start and make that first step.
Yeah.
And I think, we all have a tendency to have a difficult time taking that first leap or that first move. And again, we need people in our lives to be able to trust, to be able to help us, because we can't do it all on our own. It's very important that you have people in your life that are trustworthy and have shown that they're able to be trustworthy. And I mean, for me, in like the relationship, that's huge.
Yeah, it's everything. I mean, more than honest, I want somebody that can be transparent with me. Show me the big picture. Like, okay, you're gonna go to a party. That is being honest. But being transparent is, I'm gonna go to a party and there's somebody there that I am interested in. It's like, now things changed,
Yeah.
like something like that, because I want to make an educated decision, and I would hope that whoever I'm speaking with is allowing me to make that educated decision, whether that is to their benefit or not.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
and if they care about you, they probably shouldn't be doing that. For that example, I mean, they should let you know and talk through it. Talk through it. Is it a good idea if I do this because potentially this might happen or whatnot? But I mean, giving people the details is huge.
So important, because I mean, we come from a line of risk takers, right?
Yeah.
And I'm okay with taking risks, but I mean, come on, set me up for success.
Right.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah.
I think you've been very successful so far.
Thank you. Yeah, really appreciate that, and I concur. Added that one recently. Well, any last words?
I just want to say, the relationship that I have with you and with our other friends are just, it's something that's irreplaceable. So I value you very much, and thank you for having me and speaking with me, and I can't wait for the next adventure and the adventures ahead.
Drop him. Just
She planned on saying that. Wow.
I did.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that was very wholesome actually.
Dang.
And I find you irreplaceable as well. And like I said, lifelong friends, but more importantly, I will always have your back and I will be here to support you and set you up for success. I'm always going to give it to you straight, but I'm also always going to be a safe place whenever you need it.
I got your back too.
All right, Gageito.
Yesita. See you guys.